We begin this hour remembering all of those who have given their lives to serve the United States. President Biden attended the annual wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery this morning. This year marks the centennial of the observance of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The president is also using his first Veterans Day in office to announce a new effort at better understanding health risks former U.S. service members face after serving in toxic environments. Mr. Biden holds the nation's military close to his heart. His son, Beau, who was an Iraq War veteran, served multiple tours overseas. During his Veterans Day address, the president paid his respects to those who have served.
And today, we pay homage to the unrelenting bravery and dedication that distinguish all those who have earned the title of American veteran. It's an honor that not only a small percentage of Americans can claim, and one that marks those who are able to claim it as brothers and sisters. It's a badge of courage that unites across all ages, regardless of background, because to be a veteran is to have endured and survived challenges most Americans will never know. You've come through the trials and testing, braved dangers and deprivations, faced down tragic realities of war and death. And you've done it for us. You've done it for America.
CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang joins us now from the White House. Hi, Weijia. So the president will be signing his newly passed infrastructure deal Monday. Put this into perspective for us. How big of a win is this for the Biden administration? And has that win been dampened by the ongoing fight to get his second signature piece of legislation passed?
Well, I think, Tanya, when you look at the numbers leading up to the passage of this legislation, that really tells the story of how popular this piece of legislation is. Of course, here in Washington, we talked about infrastructure for so many years. So many administrations attempted to pass a significant bill like this one. And Joe Biden can say that he did it. And especially because it is a bipartisan infrastructure deal, I think he'll be able to show that he kept his promise of being a great negotiator, of bringing his skills from the U.S. Senate to the White House to be able to ultimately engage with lawmakers on both sides to seal the deal. In terms of all the infighting, all the sort of public conflict that we saw within his own party trying to get to this deal, I think the White House is banking on people, frankly, forgetting about that in the next few years, especially when a lot of these projects are underway, especially when we see how it does create new jobs, how it, improves broadband internet for a huge swath of the country. And I think that they have made clear from day one that, this process is not pretty. They've said many times before that, people don't necessarily like to watch the sausage being made, but at the end of the day, it's done. And what we'll be closely watching now, though, Tanya, is the immediate impact. How soon can they get this money out? Where the projects will be? When Americans will really start feeling this impact of a $1 trillion plan? And so far, the White House has struggled to provide a lot of details about that, but they promise they're coming soon.
Right. And of course, that will matter during the midterms. All right. So, Weijia, how will the infrastructure deal, though, help ease this gridlock that we're still experiencing at U.S. shipping ports? And will it be fast enough to put some relief this Christmas?
Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be fast enough. If you talk to analysts who are looking at the backlogs, especially at the ports out west, things have been so backed up for so long that it's difficult to imagine, if you throw amounts of money at it, what big projects could actually have an impact in time for the holiday shopping season, which is already upon us. But yesterday, President Biden went to the Port of Baltimore. He wanted to use it as sort of a blueprint blueprint for what could be for other ports like the ones out there that are experiencing so many backups, because he said, you know, at this particular port, there were already grants in place. There were already a series of projects that made things move relatively smoothly compared to some of the other situations that we've seen across the country. And so, you know, his argument is that with the some $17 billion in the infrastructure bill that will go directly to ports, that investment will equal moving things faster. And if things are ultimately moved faster onto shelves, the supply will be there, the supply will be able to match the demand, and hopefully prices will start to go down. Now, even without some of these big projects being completed, the White House insists that the inflation trend that we are seeing is short-lived. But the Federal Reserve predicts that these supply shortages and the cost increases could extend well into next year. And of course, as you mentioned, this is another political headache for the administration because the midterm elections are on the horizon, and certainly the president wants to be able to reverse the inflation trend way before then.
Right. I'm glad you brought up inflation, Weijia, because the Bureau of Labor Statistics' latest report reveals it is up 6.2% from this time last year. Of course, everyone is talking about this now. How do these latest numbers impact the president's agenda moving forward, and what effect might it have on those ongoing negotiations over his social spending plan?
Right. So as soon as the ink is dry on that infrastructure plan, even before that, I think all of the effort will turn toward passing the second part of his broad infrastructure plan, because he views social infrastructure, human infrastructure, as part of that. And for so long, of course, we've been talking about that reconciliation package that includes social spending with elements like universal pre-K, expanded Medicare, perhaps paid family leave that has sort of gone in and out of the bill. And unlike the bipartisan effort that we've been talking about this morning, that hinges on every single Democratic senator to vote yes. And of course, we've been talking a lot about Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema because they've been holding out. And Manchin specifically has pointed to his concerns over inflation as one reason why he does not think that it is the right time to pass this massive bill to spend all this money. And just yesterday, after that grim new figure came out, Tanya, of a 6.2% increase, Manchin tweeted about inflation again and said that it was time for Washington to wake up and to understand what real American people are going through. He said it's not transitory, it's a problem that continues to be growing, and he wants to address it. So the timing couldn't be worse, really, for the president, who is trying to sell this reconciliation package when you already have Joe Manchin expressing doubts about it because of inflation. And then you have this number showing that it is the highest rate of growth since 1990. But the White House insists that the numbers actually will all even out, because they've talked so much about how if this social spending package were passed, people would save so much money in other areas, particularly when it comes to child care. So at the end of the day, their argument is they would feel like they would have more money in their pockets, even if the cost of things is higher than before.
All right. Well, Weijia Jiang at the White House, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.